We are, as a society, more demanding of those experiences. We want them to challenge us intellectually and emotionally in the same way that they have challenged us playfully. That means that we as game designers need to step up and make experiences that give us the kinds of deep, adult, meaningful experiences that the generation expects.
Games are ancient. Games are as old as human civilization. So there are board games that are thousands of years old, like Senet that comes from ancient Egypt, Parcheesi family from Southeast Asia. So in a sense, games are as old as storytelling or image making, and playing games is part of what it means to be human. On the other hand, it's also true that something has happened with games, with digital technology, that the rise of the computer has led to an explosion in game culture.
Right now, with the plethora of platforms that you can make games on and you can distribute games on, and the fact that the industry itself, it's not just on consoles or on PCs. It's like all of these different screens and all of these different parts of your life where games can be found and can be played. I think we're not moving in any one direction. And so that's really exciting because it means there's no definition of what a game is and where a game is and when a game is and who's playing it.
I think we're in a really interesting period right now, especially with regards to input. So, obviously we've got all the gesture control, we've got all these things that kind of started with the Wii. And it's nice because for a long time we were so constrained by mouse and keyboard, that was the way we had to figure out how to make things feel expressive through those interfaces, or even in the gamepad. And now, these new technologies and new ways of input open up a set of expressive options for how you, input into the game that just makes things possible that weren't possible before.
One of the things that's happened, which I think is relevant in thinking about games and art, is that games have really shifted from being mostly folk culture to becoming authored experiences and media.
We're just in the Wild West of redefining how we play and why we play and who we play with, and that's just really fun territory, for a game designer to be in. I will say that it makes it really confusing. It certainly makes the business models for any kind of commercial endeavor confusing. But what it's great for is for artists, right? Because that's not our primary reason for making what we make.
There are people doing big budget commercial games. There are people doing weird, small experimental games. There are people using games as a form of political activism. There are people using games to ask deep personal questions. So I think the discourses and practices around games are becoming as rich as other forms of culture.
We're still in the very early stages of this even being possible. So, I'm very content to kind of explore it and see what's possible. And, the fact that someone can discover a project of mine, who's in Malaysia or Europe or South America and can experience it, that's a good thing.
It's just fantastic to think that, I can make a game that doesn't necessarily need to meet a bottom line, that I can make a game just because I want to. And just because I feel like it might be interesting. You can make any game you want. And I think that's why it's so exciting to be making games right now.